My older sister, Iris, was determined to get into Tsinghua or Peking University. Every day, she'd post her study journal online. So when a talent scout came knocking, she disdainfully pushed the opportunity to me, the one everyone called foolish. Little did she know, I became famous overnight. From then on, my career path was wide open, while she failed her university entrance exams, missing her dream school. After that, my position in her eyes changed from a lowly nobody to a beloved younger sister. She lived in the mansion I bought, spent my earnings, and even used my name to charm handsome young men everywhere. I thought that was the extent of her depravity, but I never imagined that just because the brother she liked attended my coming-of-age ceremony, she would go insane, storm into my room, and kill me. My soul returned to the exact day the talent scout came. This time, Iris tugged at Mother's arm, whining, "I don't want to study anymore, I want to be a star." Meanwhile, I, who was forced into the Olympic math class, felt a strange joy. This life, I could finally take control of my own destiny. The Yi family had twins, Iris, the older sister, famed for her intelligence, and Stella, the younger sister, recognized for her beauty. Every day, Mother would float on air as neighbors showered her with compliments. Today, Mother was even happier, her smile uncontainable. This morning, she received a phone call. The voice on the other end politely asked, "We'd like to invite your daughter to film a commercial. Please name your price. Is this convenient for you?" Mother immediately agreed, "Convenient." Of course, it's convenient. After hanging up, Mother joyfully told Iris, "My dear, we're rich now. When you're on break, our whole family will go on an international trip." Iris was stunned for a long moment before reacting, asking suspiciously, "Mother, where did our money come from?" Mother glanced at me, standing nearby, then gently stroked Iris's head and said, "Of course, it's thanks to your sister filming a commercial." Iris immediately protested, "No, this time I want to go." Mother was taken aback, then patiently cajoled. "Be good, Iris. You have your Olympic math class later. Don't you want to get into Tsinghua or Peking University? Let your sister handle the money-making. You just focus on studying hard." Mother always favored my sister, delegating all the difficult tasks like earning money to me. But this time, Iris hugged Mother's leg and whined, "Mommy, it's just one commercial, it won't take much time. Let my sister go to class for me this time, please." Unable to resist Iris's childish plea, Mother reluctantly agreed to let her do the commercial. After comforting Iris, Mother's face darkened as she turned to me, pointing to the messy pile of books in Iris's room. "What are you standing there for? Clean up these books and hurry to class. When you get home, you'll copy every single word as punishment, understand?" I looked up, meeting Mother's hateful gaze, scoffed, and then turned to my room to gather my books, ignoring the warm moment between the two of them. Waking up from the heartbreak of my previous life, I saw the undisguised malice in their eyes. In my past life, I was brainwashed, devoted to my family. From a young age, I was constantly acting, but the money I earned was held by Mother and Iris for their extravagant spending. All because Mother once told me, "I spoil your sister, but I'm strict with you because spoiled children don't grow up. I want you to be independent." I remembered that flimsy excuse for 18 years. I toiled for them for 18 years, only to be killed by my own sister at my coming-of-age ceremony. Even before I died, I discovered a cruel truth. An A-list actress was murdered in her dressing room, and the only person who could have done it was my biological mother, Manager Kim. Looking at the familiar house, I thought perhaps being reborn was the best coming-of-age gift I could receive. Sorting through my thoughts, I stepped out of my room to find Iris being meticulously made up by Mother. Her style now was 7 parts identical to my first look in my previous life, and with a face so similar to mine, she looked incredibly captivating at this moment. Mother, who was originally taking pictures of her, frowned when she saw me. "Can't you see I'm taking pictures?" "Move out of the way, you have no eyes." I ignored her, slung my backpack, and walked straight out the door. Mother was about to scold me, but the sudden ring of the doorbell stopped her. Iris immediately ran to open the door. Outside was Alex, the one who discovered my talent in my previous life. He was surprised by the sudden opening of the door, but then his gaze lingered on Iris's beautiful face. His eyes were instantly captivated, and he excitedly said, "Mrs. Yi, can we discuss a deeper collaboration? Please forgive my abruptness, but your daughter is truly a born star. I will definitely help her achieve a brilliant career." Hearing these enthusiastic words, Iris couldn't hide her smug smile. She glanced at me, standing timidly by the side, her eyes full of pride. My mother eagerly invited the talent scout inside to sit and talk, but to her surprise, his gaze suddenly flickered to me, the child about to leave the door. He exclaimed in surprise, "Mrs. Yi, is this your other daughter? What a coincidence this commercial needs 2 children. If possible, this pair of sisters would be perfect." Before Mother could answer, Iris quickly interjected, "Uncle, you don't know this, but my sister is very timid. She can't handle these kinds of situations. Besides, her grades are terrible and teachers scold her every day. How could she have time to film a commercial?" Mother quickly chimed in, "That's right, only our Iris is sensible, studies well, and knows how to care for others." I also cooperated, pretending to be scared, tiptoeing and cowering by the door. Seeing that I also refused, Mother immediately changed the subject, continuing to praise Iris's excellence. The talent scout, seeing this, didn't insist further. Iris secretly let out a sigh of relief. As she passed me, she curled her lip and whispered, "Good thing you know your place. If you dare to compete with me, I'll scratch your face to pieces. This life, I must be with him, Stella. You're just a dim star, destined to be the backdrop for the moon your entire life. When the moon rises, who cares about a tiny star?" I understood why Iris was so desperate to film that commercial and why she didn't want me to join. In my previous life, the person she liked, Leo, also a child star like me, had mentioned our first meeting in an open love letter. He wrote that at 16, when he first filmed a commercial, he was so scared he wanted to run away. But it was because there was a girl in the same filming group that he could persevere. He said her appearance was like a brilliant star, carving out the darkness and lighting up his life. That girl was me, Stella. That was also the first commercial we filmed together. Later, fans even called it our token of love. Someone commented, "Who would have thought a small, unnoticed commercial would lead 2 people to become superstars of the entertainment industry?" Others said, "It was from that moment that the wheel of fate began to turn." And now, that very opportunity was right in front of Iris. How could she refuse? Because in her previous life, Iris's life was far from smooth. After I entered the entertainment industry, Mother poured all her efforts into me. Iris could only study hard, aiming for excellent grades to gain Mother's attention. But Mother was busy choosing beautiful dresses for my tomorrow's show. She had no time to pay attention to Iris. While Iris was suffocated by her studies, I slept in every day, my biggest concern being which dress to wear or which makeup style suited me best. When she reached puberty and worried about gaining weight, I had a professional team to help me maintain a flawless figure. The senior she secretly loved for 3 years became infatuated with me just because I accidentally appeared at school a few times, losing sleep and appetite. He even asked her to deliver love letters to me. Even Tsinghua and Peking University, her dream, invited me to perform. She struggled for thousands of days and nights, wanting to become outstanding. But in the end, she could only stand below the stage, one of the applauding audience members for me. Iris resented me to death, but still stubbornly said, "What's so great about being an idol? Every day you put yourself out there for people's amusement with no real value. You have to starve yourself until you're skin and bones, constantly flattering and chasing after some pale, sickly beauty standard. Studying is the right path. Those shortcuts are simply shameful." I couldn't be bothered to pay attention. My schedule was packed. I had no time to refute a few petty, sarcastic remarks. Since I entered the entertainment industry, I had endured countless more venomous insults, yet I still survived. What's more, not long after entering high school, Iris was completely overshadowed. In a country as vast as this, even a random selection would yield tens of thousands of bright talents, let alone Iris, who was just an ordinary person among them. By the time she accepted the fact that she was ordinary, I had been noticed by a major director, becoming the female lead of a blockbuster and the most popular celebrity in the entertainment industry. Iris fell further and further, spending her days at home, immersed in idol worship. Her dream changed from getting into the most prestigious university to wanting to become his girlfriend outside the industry. Mother no longer paid attention to her either. After all, with my abilities, supporting the whole family was no big deal. Everything continued peacefully until I collaborated on a new film and once again met Leo. We were deeply in love as children and met again at the peak of our careers. Leo pursued me passionately, a beautiful and admirable love story. But when Iris heard this news, she immediately went mad. She stormed into my dressing room, cursing and humiliating me terribly. At that time, I was already struggling with a headache from my packed schedule. We quickly got into a heated argument. In the struggle, we both fell down the stairs, both losing our lives, only to be reborn together on the day the talent scout arrived. This time, she chose the path of becoming an idol without hesitation. Looking at me, she sneered, "If I hadn't given way to you in the last life, do you think you'd be where you are today? This life, it's my turn to enjoy the glory." I slung my heavy backpack and entered the Olympic math class. Here, students quietly read, and the teacher lectured endlessly on difficult topics. There was no dazzling stage, no gorgeous dresses, no dreamlike boys and girls, only square tables and thick stacks of textbooks. The bespectacled teacher looked at me, signaling for me to step up to the podium. "This is our new student, Stella." I calmly introduced myself. The teacher nodded, satisfied. After class, he looked at me, puzzled, then asked with reluctance, "Do you not understand? Your mother sent the intelligent child to film commercials and put a pretty fool into math class." The whole class burst into laughter. I frowned, stood up, and retorted, "It's my first class. It's normal not to understand. Unlike some elderly teachers who still only know how to argue with students." I packed my books and turned to leave. Just as I stepped out, I bumped into a beautiful female teacher. She held a math book in her hand, assessing me with interest. She turned to the person next to her, smiling, "This child has character. Let her be my student." Then she turned back to me, "Little pretty one, do you want to study with me?" I nodded. Wherever I study, it's still studying. At least she doesn't seem like a bad person. But that thought only lasted 5 minutes. When I saw the stack of textbooks on the desk, taller than myself, and the ruler in the teacher's hand, a chill ran down my spine, as if I had stepped into a wolf's den. The beautiful teacher stroked my head, smiling sweetly. "My name is Lynn. You're my first student. I'll definitely teach you well." I shivered and quickly replied, "My name is Stella. I'll study hard too." Lynn called my mother, and after explaining the situation, Mother immediately agreed. So Lynn officially became my private tutor. My study place also moved from the center back home. Just like in my previous life, I still had the smallest room in the house, a few square meters with only a bed and a desk. Now, the desk was piled high with books. Lynn stood beside me, meticulously explaining how to solve problems, completely ignoring the noisy bragging from Iris's room next door. After being accepted into the film crew, Mother bought her a new phone and many beautiful clothes so she would look glamorous on screen. Iris's large princess room was decorated with the dreamy colors every little girl loves. Once, during a break, Lynn asked me, "You're both children of the same family, so why does your mother discriminate so much?" She carefully observed my expression, then asked, "Are you jealous of her?" I shook my head. After thinking for a moment, I nodded. "Yes, I'm jealous, but jealousy alone solves nothing. What I want, I will achieve myself later. So for now, the most important thing is to study." After saying that, I buried myself in a sea of homework. Lynn sighed softly. Saturday morning, I woke up on time to study as planned. But when I stepped into the living room, I bumped into Iris, who was getting ready to go out. She wore a gorgeous princess dress, meticulously made up as if she were about to step onto a stage. Indeed, clothes make the man, and good fertilizer makes good crops. At this moment, she looked incredibly radiant. Iris glanced at me, then at the stack of math books I was holding, her eyes full of mockery. She sneered, "You were never as smart as me, and now you're not as pretty either. Let's see how you'll make a comeback in this life." "I'll also make time to study Olympic math. The elementary book you have, I can already recite by heart." I didn't pay attention to her. Iris then raised the new phone Mother had just bought her, shaking it in front of my face. "I've got his contact information now. He's absolutely crazy about me. Today is the official filming day for our token of love. I'll definitely cherish it." I still said nothing. Mother finished washing her hands and stepped out of the bathroom. Seeing the two sisters confronting each other, her face immediately darkened. "Be careful, don't argue with your sister." Iris hid behind Mother, sticking out her tongue at me teasingly. Then, the two of them happily left the house, leaving me alone in the empty room. My parents had divorced a long time ago. Mother resented Father, and I had a face exactly like his. Whenever Mother was angry, seeing me would make her curse me terribly, even hit me. That situation only improved when I started earning money with my looks, enough to support the whole family. Because of this, Mother favored her daughter, who resembled her more. I could understand that, but I couldn't understand why the naive emotions and adult grievances had to make children bear the consequences. In the past, I would have traded everything for a little of mother's attention and love. But now, I didn't need it anymore. When Lynn knocked and entered, I had already prepared breakfast on the table and was reviewing my lessons. Lynn's eyes swept around the house, then at the simple dining table. She pouted and said, "This little girl is quite resourceful, isn't she?" After breakfast, we began to study. The thick Olympic math textbook lay open on the table, a series of mind-numbing numbers. Studying was truly dry, and even with a good teacher like Lynn tutoring me, I still found it quite difficult. Occasionally, I'd rub my forehead, lost in thought. Lynn gently tapped my head. "What, already giving up so soon? Are you really a fool? I even made extra time to tutor you. Don't disappoint me." Seeing my silence, Lynn suddenly realized that despite my mature appearance, I was still just a child. She softened her voice. "Little Stella, do you also want to be a star? But being a star isn't always glamorous. Every job has its own hardships. But if you grasp the right study methods, you'll achieve double the results. For example, this problem, just changing your perspective a little, won't it be much simpler?" With that, Lynn divided the diagram and the math problem into 2 parts, and a difficult problem was suddenly solved with ease. I immediately brightened up again. Lynn nodded with satisfaction, patting my shoulder. "When you graduate from high school, I'll give you a gift." I buried myself in homework, treating it as a child's toy, not paying much attention. But a few years later, that gift nearly made my jaw drop. Days and months passed. As I immersed myself in studying, Iris's commercial officially aired. As expected, she became famous overnight, immediately becoming a sought-after star. At school, classmates who once flocked around me now followed her, praising her to the skies. Iris no longer focused on her studies. It was the crucial period for high school entrance exams, but every day she dressed up like a peacock, leading her friends, constantly bragging and disturbing my studies. "Stella, no matter how much you study, you'll never be as smart as me. Not everyone has this." Her friends also chimed in. "That's right, little sister. Why don't you ask your older sister for help? Maybe she can help you become a star." Unexpectedly, this flattery hit a nerve with Iris. She glared at her friend, then angrily walked away. I knew what she was upset about. According to my previous life, at this time, I had already been scouted by a major company and had begun my career as a child star. But currently, Iris's contract still had no news. With the commercial about to expire, she had no connections in the industry and could only wait anxiously for news. Meanwhile, I continued to study according to my plan, like a dry sponge absorbing knowledge, my scores steadily increasing. When the results of the new monthly exam were announced, my ranking was almost on par with Iris's. After school, before Iris could throw a tantrum, Mother, who had been busy outside all this time, brought good news. "My darling, good news, your contract has been signed. I've been very selective to find a suitable company for you. I've already spoken with your teacher, and starting tomorrow, you don't need to go to school anymore. My daughter is about to become a big star." Seeing the 2 of them joyfully hugging, I just stood there silently. I smirked, a self-deprecating smile. So that's how it was. I thought Iris, like me in my previous life, had accidentally signed with a third-rate company, bound by breach of contract fees her whole life, only able to play small, forgettable roles. It turned out only I was treated that way, and those subtle biases in every small detail, I should have noticed them long ago. Iris happily pulled Mother's arm, overjoyed for a while. Only later did she remember to tattle. She pouted, her tone sarcastic. "Mommy, little sister's scores are really high this time. So smart, isn't she? Just casually studying for a month and she's caught up to my years of hard work." Hearing this, Mother's face immediately darkened. She grabbed me, angrily asking, "Did you cheat? So young and you're already not studying properly. You're exactly like your useless father." As she spoke, Mother raised her hand, intending to slap my face, but before she could, a deep, steady voice rang out. "Sarah, if I'm not here, you treat your daughter like this." A man suddenly appeared, blocking me, shielding me from that unwarranted slap. I turned my head to look at his face. It was 70 to 80% similar to mine when I grew up. My mother froze, but then her expression became even uglier. She shrieked, "How dare you show your face here again? Child custody belongs to me. How I choose to raise my child is my business. What does it have to do with you?" It was dismissal time, and Mother's sharp voice immediately attracted the attention of many surrounding parents. Their curious eyes lit up, sensing a big drama. Some even pulled out their phones to take pictures. The man, suppressing his anger, took us home. As soon as the door closed, he stated his purpose. Initially, I just intended to drop by to visit my daughter, but now I've changed my mind. I want to take Stella with me. My mother glanced at me, then looked at Iris, who was winking at her. Immediately, Mother changed her tone, happily saying, "Then that's fine. It saves people from saying I'm biased. Let's do the paperwork today. Just when my daughter becomes a big star, don't try to drag our family into it anymore." The man gripped my hand tightly, calmly replying, "Agreed." I stood up to pack my things, but there was truly nothing worth taking. In the end, I only carried my backpack, filled with all my textbooks and study materials. Under the mocking gaze of Iris and Mother, I left that house. His hand was very warm. He led me to buy new clothes, gently asking me about every little thing, exactly like how Mother treated Iris. This tenderness stunned me. Whether in my past life or this one, I had always been a stranger to this father. When I was young, he was busy earning money until he went bankrupt. Mother immediately took what little money was left and fled with us. In my memory, he was just a fleeting stop, and according to Mother, he was a failure. How could a man who couldn't even protect the woman he swore to protect care for a daughter he rarely saw? I just needed an opportunity to escape Iris. Anyone who gave me that chance would do. But this warmth was too brilliant. Never having been loved before, I couldn't bear to let go, so I let him hold my hand. My father quickly completed the transfer procedures for my school. In the new school, there was no more isolation or sabotage from Iris. For the first time in my life, I had a good friend. That night, I was so excited I couldn't sleep. After escaping Iris's shadow, I experienced many firsts. That evening, I lay on the princess bed that had been prepared for a long time, looking up at the ceiling full of star-shaped lights for children. 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars. Tears blurred my vision. I was no longer a lonely star. The high school entrance exam ended, and I successfully got into the best high school in the area. I heard Iris was also studying there. After checking my scores, I accidentally scrolled past a photo on her Weibo. A dimly lit practice room, Iris's diligent figure practicing looked very much like me in my past life. The only difference was that under the post, there were only a few sparse comments. Mother had changed companies for her, but turning a child with no foundation into a celebrity requires more than just effort. Talent, luck none can be lacking. In my previous life, I had no background in the company, relying only on my outstanding looks to survive. But in that world full of unspoken rules, I endured no small amount of hardship to maintain my figure. During puberty, I had to learn to control my hunger. After every intense training session, other trainees had nutritionists adjusting their diets. Only I silently sat in the corner, gnawing at my hunger. There were times when I was so hungry I went crazy, only able to drink a few sips of water and eat a few raw vegetable leaves, just for fear of water retention making me look bloated on camera and being criticized for not managing my physique. To train my acting, I was pushed into film crews as an extra. Sometimes I was a maid standing behind the female lead, sometimes a stunt double for a miserable scene of falling into water. The only difference from ordinary extras was that I cherished every opportunity to be on screen. Even if it was just a faint shadow in the background, I still devoted myself to completing every scene. These small, unnoticed efforts were dug up by netizens when I became famous, and I unexpectedly gained a loyal fan base who loved my acting. I toiled in film crews for 2 years until one day, a director noticed me, giving me the opportunity to play my first female lead role. With excellent acting and a flawless face, I immediately became a sensation. From then on, my acting career soared. Each of my roles brought a fresh feeling to the audience. With relentless effort, I almost escaped the label of flower vase. But all of this was destroyed by Iris. She knew very well how difficult my path to fame was, so even with the script in hand, she dared not be negligent, because she knew every moment of effort today was to pave the way for the future. But I wouldn't let her easily walk that path. She, too, should experience the feeling of being pulled down from the peak. Months and years passed. My academic performance was now at the top of the honors class. My famously strict homeroom teacher confidently declared that my admission to Tsinghua or Peking University was a certainty. Iris and I attended the same school, but I focused solely on my studies and rarely saw her. Her packed schedule had consumed her youth. I looked at Iris like a flower forced to bloom early, pouring all her energy into shining at an age when she should have been building her foundation. I had already foreseen her end, being swallowed by darkness like a fleeting meteor. After all, the entertainment industry never lacked new faces, and Iris had nothing outstanding to hold the audience's attention. She became famous because her company built her an academic prodigy image, and even though the entertainment industry doesn't prioritize academics, this was still a rare distinction. However, even after debuting for several years, she remained only moderately popular. As for me, in this life, I could control my own destiny, so I chose to live a peaceful youth, not rushing into the entertainment industry, but enjoying life as a normal student, savoring the fleeting years of youth. It wasn't until the college entrance exams ended that I met Iris again. Contrary to my expectations, this time she no longer mocked or provoked me. Compared to my previous life, she looked much more beautiful, but lacked vitality. Even when she saw me, she didn't have the energy to say anything biting. Finally, I spoke first. "How does it feel?" Iris opened her mouth, but no sound came out. After a long time, she finally replied in a hoarse voice, "Leo and I are together now." "Oh," I replied indifferently. "Aren't you jealous?" "Why should I be jealous? Have I ever said I liked him? Have I ever said I was with him? That was originally baseless rumors fabricated by the media to attract views. Only you believed them to be true." Iris was unwilling, her face twisted. "At least I'm a celebrity now." I looked at her, gaunt and hollow-eyed, yet still stubbornly arrogant. Finally, I still uttered a warning: "Don't accept Director Hayes' film offer." She was stunned. "How did you know? Did you also get an offer?" Over the past few years, Iris's reputation had always been mediocre, with very few truly impactful works. Now, Director Hayes proactively contacted her, offering such attractive conditions. This was her only chance to rise. I knew she wouldn't give up easily. I just reminded her because we used to be sisters. Believe it or not, it's up to you. The college entrance exam concluded. I walked out of the exam room with a sense of relief, as if making up for the regrets of 2 lives. I refused the reporters waiting to take pictures, accepting a bouquet from Lynn. He, wearing sunglasses, was mysteriously hidden in the crowd, pulling me aside and saying, "I have a big gift for you." Lynn and I had long become close friends, not hiding anything from each other. I let him pull me straight to the headquarters of Starlight Entertainment, the country's leading entertainment company. I followed him bewildered while he moved about as if the place was deserted. Finally, when I saw Leo in the flesh, I couldn't help but ask, "Lynn, just who in the world are you?" He took off his sunglasses, patted Leo's shoulder, and chuckled. "This is my biological younger brother. And me. I'm just the academic genius who buried himself in books all day and knew nothing about the outside world." Then he winked, telling me to look for the hottest novel right now. I did, and was immediately stunned when I saw the author's name, Little Ink 2. That was the author of Fated Spirit, a classic that would later be adapted into countless fan-made videos by netizens. The film adaptation of this novel fed countless production companies and media professionals. When Fated Spirit exploded, I was still an extra on a neighboring film set. Although I would later have many classics of my own, I always regretted missing the opportunity to star in this film. But now, I was not yet 18, and my best friend placed this script right in front of me, saying it was something he wrote for fun in his free time. Even the image of the female lead in the story was me. Who could have imagined that a famous female author and the older sister of an idol superstar was once an Olympic math teacher? This world was truly too miraculous. I stood there dumbfounded for a long time until Leo chuckled, "Want me to sign it?" Before I could refuse, I saw Lynn kick him away. "What? You dare? Stay away from my female lead." Leo held his face, looking innocent. "Didn't you say I was the male lead?" I just stared blankly as Lynn landed another punch. "You brat! This is the coming-of-age gift I prepared for Stella, who told you to speak first." Watching the 2 biological siblings lose all composure, punching and kicking each other in the office, I couldn't help but laugh. I had my own plans. After the college entrance exam, I intended to use the summer break to try my hand at the entertainment industry. No longer forced by anyone, I had time to think things through and realized that I didn't hate acting. I only hated trashy movies and the feeling of hopelessness when caught up in them. Moreover, Fated Spirit was one of my favorite works in my previous life. This time, I was at the most suitable age to take on the role. I would definitely use my acting skills to elevate this film to new heights. Lynn and I happily signed the contract. Before we could even celebrate, I saw my photo climbing the hot search. Initially, I thought it was an interview about the top scorer of the university entrance exam, but when I clicked to read, the title shocked me. University top scorer, angel or fallen demon? The article contained a series of my personal information. Most infuriating was a photo of me with Iris. My photo was blurred and distorted, while Iris next to me looked beautiful and radiant. The poster, claiming to be Iris's fan, accused me of bullying her for years, even fabricating claims of plastic surgery and cheating on the university entrance exam. The post wasn't originally that popular until someone uploaded a photo of me with Lynn today. Immediately, a flood of trolls commented, saying I was using connections, branding me a bully, and inadvertently helping Iris gain more fame. People who didn't know the truth eagerly devoured the drama. My newly signed manager, Amy, was immediately flustered. What the hell? The main character hasn't even debuted yet and is already blowing up. It's true some people are born with inherent popularity. But Lynn frowned, worried. A topic like this will put immense pressure on a rookie. I'm afraid fans will leave, and she might even receive hate mail from antis. I shook my head, disagreeing. Isn't this more beneficial? A hot topic delivered right to our doorstep, why refuse? Let's go shoot the poster now. Watching the trending topic continuously rise, the corner of my mouth curved upwards. Iris, whether it's you or the company behind this trick, I won't let it go. Using public pressure to suffocate a rookie, to crush a flower before it even blooms, this tactic is truly vicious. But for someone who's already been through the ringer in the entertainment industry like me, you're still too naive and green. While I was busy with makeup, poster shoots, and script research, Iris, who was trending, personally live-streamed, feigning vulnerability. She posed like a fragile white flower, eyes glistening, voice softly trembling, sweetly telling her fans, "Everyone, please don't say that. Stella treated me very well. She always tutored me since childhood. She's truly an amazing sister." Very quickly, netizens dug up my mediocre, almost unremarkable past achievements compared to Iris's previous ones. Immediately, someone scoffed. With these grades, she wants to tutor our academic prodigy. Following that, a series of unflattering photos and fabricated rumors about me spread across forums. In Iris's live stream, she skillfully whitewashed herself, completely pushing me into the mire of ugly labels: bully, plastic surgery addict, exam cheater. After achieving her goal, Iris, capitalizing on her momentum, sweetly announced her collaboration with director Hayes on a new film project in this live stream. She garnered another wave of fame. However, this time I was the one holding the upper hand. Just as she finished broadcasting, when the discussion was at its peak, Lynn's official account suddenly announced, "I will play the female lead in Fated Spirit." Immediately, social media exploded. Amidst the storm of doubts about my casting, Iris's fans aggressively attacked, pushing the topic straight to the hot search. Soon after, Leo also shared the post, tagging my newly created account with a simple caption, "Hello everyone, this is my female lead." At the same time, I also posted my self-introduction and attached a lawsuit. I was officially suing those who slandered me and spread false information, using the law to protect my reputation. 3 consecutive blows. The heat immediately erupted. I hadn't even officially entered the entertainment industry, but my influence was already on par with top stars. Even Leo had to admit, she's more popular than me. But public opinion was currently more skeptical than supportive. Even more surprisingly, I received an invitation from director Hayes. My manager, Amy, gaped, unable to believe her eyes. "Stella, the role director Hayes invited you for is the female lead." I was also startled. Director Hayes was a big name in the industry. For a rookie with no works, entangled in controversy, to be invited directly to play the female lead, it was too risky. While I was still pondering his intentions, Lynn was so worried he was almost crying. "Stella, you won't abandon me, will you?" I chuckled, lightly patting his shoulder. "Do you think I'm that kind of person? I will definitely star in your film. Just wait for the day your name is etched in history." Seeing Lynn's foolishly happy expression, I couldn't help but secretly wonder how a fool like him could write such a powerful masterpiece. Although Lynn was already famous in the novel world, in terms of screenwriting, he was still an unknown rookie. But I knew that soon, Fated Spirit would become an earthquake in the entertainment industry. Thinking of this classic film being my debut work, I couldn't help but look forward to it. I declined director Hayes' invitation, but still went with Lynn to the audition to observe. After all, the entertainment industry always respects the strong. If I refused outright, I might offend him. We disguised ourselves carefully and went to the location. As I observed, I couldn't help but sigh. Director Hayes still had great influence, but at the same time, I felt a sense of regret. His film this time would be a terrible failure. He was old, but obsessed with Western cinematic styles, stubbornly changing his approach, spending a huge sum to buy the rights to a competitive sports film. But the entire entertainment industry could see that this film couldn't succeed. Established actors had all refused. Director Hayes searched for half a year and still found no one willing to accept. He was forced to recruit new actors, preferably rookies who knew nothing, so he could manipulate them more easily. Moreover, the film contained many scenes of violence and sexual content. If the actors didn't dare to let loose, the film wouldn't achieve the desired effect. We stayed on set for a long time, observing the new actors audition. Their clumsy acting only made me realize my own true capabilities. Even Lynn had to exclaim, "Thank goodness I held on to you early." These actors now only care about superficial appearances. Their acting is terrible. If they ruin my script, my fans will chase me down and beat me? I didn't hold back, calmly accepting the compliment. As I was scrolling through the Fated Spirit script, Lynn suddenly leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Hey, isn't that Iris? What's she doing here?" I followed the direction of his pointing hand. Indeed, in the crowd, I saw that familiar figure. I sighed softly. "Iris, you finally came here." It was her turn to audition. Iris seemed to be in good spirits, but the moment she saw me sitting on the judges' panel, her expression immediately changed. I had witnessed the dirtiest things in the entertainment industry. I had seen a variety show maintain its #1 spot for 8 years, but during filming, it found every way to harm less famous artists. I had seen an actress accidentally slip and fall into a lake amidst many crew members, but no one reached out to help. I had seen a famous actress, known for her gentleness, secretly beat and curse at her assistant backstage without mercy. On shows, she showed disdain for all guests, but as long as money was slipped to the crew, she was still the gentle older sister loved by millions. I had seen a host deliberately make things difficult for an actor, forcing an 18-year-old girl to strike provocative poses in front of millions of viewers, then editing the video to make her the center of online criticism. This entertainment industry, as glamorous as it is equally dirty. It's all just a show to deceive the audience. They might not be good actors on screen, but in real life, their acting is more terrifying than any film I've ever experienced, so I could recognize it. But Iris, who had walked only on a paved path her entire life, didn't understand how vicious this place was. With just a little strategy, I could make her completely lose her footing, unable to rise again for the rest of her life. I thought I would never see Iris again, but on a holiday when I went home, I encountered 2 uninvited guests. My mother sat on the sofa, her eyes red, displaying a miserable expression, crying to my father. Iris sat beside her, her face wrapped in bandages, clearly having had plastic surgery not long ago. Seeing me walk in, the 2 of them immediately rushed forward. No, to be precise, Mother dragged Iris forward. Her face broke into a fawning smile. "Stella, you're home. You've been working hard these past few days, haven't you? Mother and your sister came to visit you and brought food too. The guard wouldn't let Mother in, but I missed you so much I had to come to your house. You won't blame Mother, right?" I didn't answer, only turned to look at my father. He sat on the chair, his hands clasped together, looking bewildered as if he was hesitating about something. I said nothing, but in my head I understood the whole story. My mother had lived off men her entire life. The first half of her life, she clung to my father. The second half, she sucked the blood of Iris and me to survive. Now suddenly losing her financial source, she was undoubtedly more panicked than anyone. So she immediately arranged for Iris to have surgery, even intending to send her abroad to debut. She must have tried everything but failed, which is why she finally came back to me. In her eyes, I was forever a blood bag, usable at any time. Seeing that I was still silent, my mother finally revealed her true motive. She asked as if casually, "Stella, is there any suitable role in your film crew? Could you help your sister a little? You two are sisters by blood, you should help each other. Now that Iris is down on her luck, don't you feel guilty eating well and dressing well all by yourself? Hearing this, I looked at Iris subtly. She was tightly bandaged from head to toe, only her anxious eyes constantly darting around were visible. I feigned intimacy and gently asked, "Sister, what kind of role do you want? Just say it directly. Why bother Mother to come all the way here?" Iris stammered. I. My mother, seeing this, pinched her arm hard, helping her find an excuse. "Stella, your sister just had surgery and her voice is affected. Don't mind her." I raised an eyebrow, pretending to be worried. "Oh dear, what a shame. There are no lead roles in my film crew. Or perhaps Mother and sister should look for other options. I really can't help." Finally, my mother realized I was mocking them. Furious, she lunged at me, intending to claw my face, but was immediately stopped by my father. I looked at him, calmly saying, "Father, do you see their true intentions now?" My father sighed, turned, and directly chased the two of them out of the house. Afterwards, he said to me apologetically, "I misjudged people. I made you suffer. I just thought if she was truly remorseful, you'd have another person who cared about you. The two sisters could take care of each other." Just as he finished speaking, a cheerful voice came from outside the door. "Uncle Daniel, that's not right. Doesn't our Stella already have Leo taking care of her? Who else does she need?" Lynn and Leo walked into the house, carrying bags full of snacks. Leo's face flushed bright red. My father also laughed and affectionately scolded them. "These kids, still calling him your male lead. Well, as long as it's Leo, I'm satisfied. I'm old, I can't handle you kids causing trouble." Leo and I exchanged glances and smiled, our eyes full of love. "Were you and Iris really together?" On our 1-year anniversary, I playfully asked Leo. "Iris said you two dated back then. Was it true?" Leo, reading a script, his hand trembled slightly, then he quickly denied it. "Don't mention that. At that time, she shamelessly asked for my contact information in front of so many people. I didn't dare to directly refuse. My dear wife, I'm an introvert." I snorted, but the corners of my mouth couldn't help but curl upwards slightly. "All right, consider yourself sensible. I'll temporarily accept this title." By now, Leo and I had both become famous award-winning actors. My father's company had also successfully listed on the stock market, and Lynn was increasingly immersed in the world of creation, even wanting to write a story based on Leo's and my love story. This dog food, sweet romance couldn't be eaten by me alone. I definitely had to share it with my fans too. As for Iris and her mother, I no longer heard any news about them. But I didn't care. In a night sky full of stars, no one would only ever gaze at the moon.